Welcome back everybody. Today I'm going to show you how to mount a TV on the wall. We had a video earlier that showed you how to move the outlet above the TV. So now I'm going to show you how to mount a TV on the wall. So you can buy a bracket on Amazon, Walmart, you name it. Most will work pretty well. They usually go in sizes between, like this one's a 32-inch TV to I think it's 70. So they also have smaller ones for the smaller TVs. But today we went ahead and went with a 32-inch to 70-inch just in case we're going to put a bigger TV up. Today we're just going to put a 32-inch TV in a bedroom. So the first thing you want to do is decide where you want to put the TV. So right now we're going to put it between this wall and this windowsill. So we're going to kind of center the TV in between here. We know we're going to have to cover these items up with the TV, so the TV is going to have to at least cover that up. So whether that's in the middle or the far right side of the TV to cover that up, that's decided by where we need to put the bracket on the wall. So the next thing is, I know there is a stud here because this was put up before the house was built. So electrical boxes and low voltage boxes, actually they mount to a stud. So if I take a stud finder, I can verify that there's a stud right here in between the electrical box and the low voltage box. So that is going to be my far right, basing that all studs are usually done within 16 on center. So that means 16 inches between each other. So I have 16 inches from here to my next stud. So this bracket is a little over 16 inches. I think it's probably about 20. So I know I'm gonna have to put that in the center somewhere, and then my next bolt will be in between here somewhere. So I really don't have that much left and right that I can move this. I know that I can put this right here. If I move it over here to put the bolt right here, then I'm missing out on this stud right here. Let me show you. So I have a stud right there. So I definitely have to put this around. I definitely have to put it, that's gotta be the place to put it, unless I want to use drywall anchors, which I highly don't want to use. But if the TV's light enough and you have to on one side, that is fine. Now, another thing you want to understand and figure out is, so you have to plug into the outlet, and we have to plug into the coax cable. So another thing is, if I have the TV too high, if I mount it too high, and then the mount on here, I can't get to the outlet. So we definitely want to mount it a little bit lower than that. So that way I can get to the outlet and the coax cable for my cable box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put it on the height I want. And so the height is going to be about that. So now I have the height I want, and I'm going to make sure it's level because we want the TV level. Put it right in here. And then I need to put it right in here. So now I need to do it on the other side. Hopefully you can see this. Good. It's doing that, but so I know the stud is literally right there. So I know by eyeballing it, it is right about here. So we're good there. So now I know where all my markings are, and I can hit those with a drill. So I do a little trick on drywall. This is a punch, kind of a spring-loaded punch. Use this on metal, so that way when you want to drill a certain spot in a piece of metal, if you start to drill, it starts to wobble a bit and wander. If you use the punch, it will go exactly where you want it. So I'm going to go ahead, since this is textured drywall, I'm going to go ahead and punch where I want it. So that way it doesn't move on me. And that'll automatically put a little indentation. So that way it won't wobble on me either. Also, so any tool that I use in this video, I'm gonna go ahead and link them in the description. So if you're interested, you can go ahead and click on the link and buy it for your project too. So go ahead and drill. Now another thing, one way to tell if you're actually in the stud is if it goes through the drywall fairly easy, and after the drywall's about probably 3/4, probably 5/8 thick on this exterior wall. If it goes through pretty easily, that's telling you if there's nothing behind the drywall. That means you missed the stud. So we got those are good. So our next step is we're gonna go ahead and we got the pilot holes drilled, and I'm gonna go ahead and get the bracket up here and use the lag bolts that the bracket came with, and I'm gonna use an impact driver to impact these in with the socket. You can use a ratchet if you want to with a socket, but it's a lot easier and quicker if you use an impact wrench. You don't want to go too tight quite yet, just a little loose. Started. So if you leave it loose a little bit, I can slide this bracket left and right because it's loose. So let's get the other ones on, started. Oh, yeah. Based on the fact that it impacts all the way through, I definitely hit a stud on all four, so that's good news. All right, so now it's actually level, so that's great. All right, I recommend using a ratchet for the last part of it, just because you don't want to crack the drywall. You don't want to get too tight and crack the drywall. So now, you can double check for level. And we're good. All right, so I went ahead and already mounted these brackets on here. This is a tilting wall mount, so I can actually loosen the knob here, and I can make it so the TV is actually flush on the wall, or I can make it so it tilts forward. Which we want to tilt forward because we're going to put it in the bedroom for a bed. So I went ahead and loosened these up and tilted them all the way down and tightened them back up. They also have these that hang down, so that way when it connects to the bracket, it locks in place automatically with a spring. And then when you want to take the TV down, you just pull on this and then it'll loosen it up so that way you can pull it back off. One thing I did notice before I put the brackets up is it does cover some of the ports. So we only have one HDMI that we need to hook up. It's covered. USB port's covered. I'm not worried about that because I'm not using that. We just need one HDMI, so I went ahead and put the bracket up higher so that way I can plug an HDMI in. At the end of the day, if I needed all these ports, I could actually hacksaw this off right here. This is not part of the support. So I went ahead and moved this bracket up. Another thing is when you put the bracket on, you want to make sure that the bracket's not hanging too low, which these will show at the very bottom, so I'll go ahead and tie them up kind of. But at the top, you don't want the brackets hanging on the top either. So I wanted to make sure I didn't get it too high, but if it was too high, I would go ahead and hack this off right here, so that way I can actually get to the ports. But now I'm able to get to the ports just fine. So another thing is this has a ridge on it. They give you an assortment of bolts here for pretty much any TV mount, or any TV to mount to. So I went ahead, these had small holes for them, so I went ahead and grabbed the smallest hole bolts, and I realized I had to use the spacers that came with it because there's a kind of a lip here, and so I went ahead, actually here they are. They had small length, and then they had ones like this that are a little bit longer, so I knew those were for the spacers. So I went ahead and mounted those and kind of made these, you know, kind of a little bit perpendicular to each other. Not perpendicular, parallel. That's the word I was looking for. So that way they're up and down, they're not like kind of cockeyed or anything. So now we're ready to mount this on the wall. Make sure I don't put the mounts between here. So I go ahead and hook up the top portion. There we go. And then make sure my wires are away from it. Good to go. And then now I tucked it in. So now the TV is good to go. Now you can kind of see the outlets above there. That's kind of not what I wanted to do. I can actually move the TV up with the mounts, so we're good to go there. We're gonna go ahead and move the mounts down on the TV a little bit more, and we'll be good to go there. And we got the TV mounted. So now that we got the TV mounted and ready to go on the wall, we can go ahead and take the cables and then zip tie them and tie them up so they're nice and neat on the back side. And that way it's all nice and neat and tidy behind the TV. We also wanted to make sure that we're even on both sides here, so I think we're good here. Like I said before, all the tools that we used on this video are linked down in the description, so you can go ahead and check those out. And as well as the link to the video of when I moved the outlet from the down below to up here. I didn't actually do it on this one, but I did it on a different wall. But that way you can learn how to move the outlet from the bottom side to above the TV. Other than that, be sure to subscribe if you like the video, hit the like button as well, and if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments below, and go ahead and follow my Twitter and Instagram.